Hare Krishna. Good evening. Welcome to all the devotees for our weekly Tuesday Satsang program. So, we were discussing from 26th chapter of third canto for last couple of weeks, wherein Lord Kapila is describing Sankhya Yoga. Though Sankhya Yoga was taught to all of us in Bhagavad Gita second chapter, wherein Lord Krishna describes the distinction between the body and soul. The distinction between what the soul is all about, what the body is all about. And later in the 13th chapter, Lord Krishna goes into further more details about the distinctions between the body, the soul, and the super soul, and also the distinction between the material nature and Ishvara and Prakriti. So at a couple of places we hear about these things from Bhagavad Gita. But here in Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Kapila goes into more details, trying to analyze the characteristics of the individual elements. As we have mentioned previously, that Bhagavad Gita mainly focuses on 5 principal topics: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. And out of these 5, the first 4 are independent and eternal. Ishvara is independent, eternal. Jiva, eternal. Prakriti is also eternal, and Kala is also eternal. So since Prakriti and Kala and Jiva, these three are energies of the Supreme Lord. So as Lord is eternal, Lord's energies are also eternal. But the fourth one, karma, is not eternal. Karma is temporary. So karma is performed by the material body. So whatever activities we perform through this body is called karma. And our material body is made up of 24 material elements. The 5 Pancha Mahabhutas: earth, water, fire, air, ether. And these 5 Pancha Mahabhutas have 5 specific characteristics. So earth has fragrance, water has taste, fire as form, air as touch, and ether as sound. So like that, 5 plus 5, Pancha Mahabhutas, and 5 Tanmatras or 5 sense objects, 10. And there are 5 Jnanendriyas. The Jnanendriyas are like ears, skin, eyes, tongue, nostril. And 5 Karmendriyas: the mouth, the hands, the legs, anus, and genital. And there are 4 Antakaranas, or 4 internal senses, or 4 subtle senses: the mind, intelligence, ego, and consciousness. Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana. So with the combination of these 24 material elements, the material body is formed. And with that material body, we perform karma. That karma is the 5th topic of Bhagavad Gita. And that 5th topic goes into detail in Srimad Bhagavatam. That is further divided into 24 elements. So 24 plus 4, total 28. So in this chapter, we try to understand what are the natures of these 28 elements and how they are related with each other. Generally, the devotees are always happy to hear Krishna Katha. So Bhagavad Katha, the glories of wonderful devotees and glories of various pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So those talks or those discussions are very pleasing to the mind and heart of the devotees. But sometimes here and there, Bhagavatam goes into some technical details, as we have seen in the 2nd canto about the creation, universal form. 3rd canto also many places about the creation, universal form. So many other technical subject matters are there. Maybe people who are analytically oriented might like these topics, but devotees in general may not like them very much. They may be very boring and very confusing, very disoriented, something like that. But by the way, we are trying to study Bhagavatam in sequence. So then they are coming or on the way. They are all present on the way. So we'll try to understand and at least get a small glimpse of these subject matters. If not, clear-cut understanding. If not, the subject matters are not of topic of relish or topic of enjoyment. Just let us try to go through once, because this is one time study. We don't know how, when again we get time to come to again third canto. So as you go ahead, it will take lifetime to complete the entire Bhagavatam in that sense. So in this chapter, starting from the beginning, Lord Kapila talked about the Ishvara. Ishvara is beginningless, he is Paramatma, he is the first Purusha, he is without any material qualities, Nirguna, he is situated beyond the purview of material nature, Prakriti Para, and he is self-illuminated. He has his own abode known as Vaikuntha. So, and from him comes the material creation. So these are the different qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So why would Lord create material creations? Because Jiva want to enjoy separate from the Supreme Lord. So for Jiva's enjoyment, the Supreme Lord creates the material universe. So by glancing over Prakriti, the Supreme Lord impregnates all the Jivas into the womb of Prakriti. So by that impregnation, by the interaction of Jiva Shakti and Kala Shakti, the Prakriti transforms into 24 material elements, and their combination creates unlimited material universes with unlimited planetary systems, with unlimited variety of species, basically our grass body and subtle bodies, etc. So there Jiva comes here and identifies with the body in which the Jiva is currently residing. Currently all of us are residing in human body. So all of us, we say that we are human beings. Maybe in the previous life or in the next life, we might have been in the some other body, or we might be in the some other body like that of animals or devatas or asuras, etc. That time we say that okay, we are that, we are this, etc. So with that identification, we perform many activities, and while doing all those activities, we say that I am the doer, and hence I am the enjoyer of the results. So the misidentification, the concept of the doership and the concept of enjoyership binds us in this material world, bewilders us and binds us in this material world. So that's how Jiva comes into the purview or under illusion of Prakriti. So then the Lord talks about Kala. It is by Kala everything is happening. Kala, which is there inside our heart as Paramatma, is there outside as the Supreme Lord, who is there inside our heart as Paramatma, is there outside as Kala. The Kala only makes us perform all the variety of activities. Every sunrise will indicate us that get up and start, take bath and start working for the rest of the day for earning livelihood. So if there is no sunrise, there is no moment of time, we don't perform any activity, something like that. And it is Kala which agitates material nature and creates all the material universes and keeps the material nature under action. The creation, maintenance, and annihilation, everything is happening by Kala. It's like that. For example, for us, it is by the effect of Kala we take birth, we grow, we get married, we get children, become old and die. And everything is happening by the influence of Kala. So like that. And then the material nature, which is being lashed by the Supreme Lord, first gives birth to Mahatattva. So Mahatattva is the first element that appears from the material nature or Prakriti. So this Mahatattva is situated within all of our body as Chitta. Chitta means consciousness. So what is the nature of this Mahatattva? It is pure goodness. It is made up of Sattva Gunam, pure goodness. It is very pure, Satchatvam. It is completely peaceful, without any agitation. Any agitation, any vikar within our mind, within our heart is all due to mode of passion, mode of ignorance. When a person is completely situated in mode pure goodness, there will be no agitation. So something like that. And it is a place of worshipping the Lord, Bhagavat Pada. That's why it is called as Vasudeva consciousness. So Mahatattva, which is there in our heart as Chitta, is meant to worship the Supreme Lord. That's why in everyday morning we recite Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Currently, that Chitta which is supposed to worship the Supreme Lord is covered by a lot of dust, covered by a lot of anarthas, material desires, and so many other things. So as a result of which we are not willing to serve the Supreme Lord. We, in the sense, in general, everyone, not just devotees, but devotees have the desire to serve the Lord, but in general, people in general, there is no desire to serve the Lord. So when that dust is removed, is wiped off from our Chitta, from our Chetana, then we become pure. then we will be able to perceive ourselves within the heart. Then we will be able to also see the Supreme Lord who is situated within our heart as Paramatma. And then we will be able to worship him in person directly. So till then, till the time we purify our consciousness, we need to worship the deity in the temple. We need to worship the deities, whatever household deities we have at our home, our photo frames we have at our home. All these are meant to our hearing Krishna Katha, hearing Bhagavatam, chanting Harinam, attending satsang programs, attending Sankirtan programs, and every other devotional activity is all meant to purify our consciousness, which is supposed to be very pure, which is supposed to be made up of pure goodness, which is supposed to be very peaceful, which is supposed to be the place of worship of the Supreme Lord, which is supposed to be called as Vasudeva consciousness, etc. So that chitta is there within our body as Chetana. The same Chetana also has same qualities. It is supposed to be pure, Satchasam, which is supposed to be changeless, Avikaratam, which is supposed to be peaceful, Shantatvam, and which is like the pure water. So these are the different qualities of our Chetana. So our Chetana, our consciousness is supposed to be like this. It is supposed to be like the pure water. But we can examine ourselves how far our consciousness is like a pure water. So something like that. So water is said to be pure if there are no foam, no dust, and no waves on the surface of the water. It is still full of tasty and without any minerals or without any dust particles. That kind of water is called as pure water. So that's how it is explained. And then eventually from that Mahatattva, there appeared Ahankara. So Mahatattva is like the root of a, or the like the sprout coming from the seed. Seed is like Prakriti is like the seed. The sprout is like Mahatattva, which will become the root of the tree, and the trunk which is coming above, the initial which comes out as a sapling and eventually become the trunk. The trunk is Ahankara. And from that Ahankara comes three branches, the three main branches. So one is Sattva-guna branch, second one is Rajoguna branch, and third one is Tamoguna branch. So Sattva-guna branch has Vaikarika, Rajoguna has Taijasa, and Tamoguna has Tamas. So basically, from Sattva-guna branch, there comes mind and the devatas who are looking after the functions of various senses. And then from Rajoguna branch, there comes the 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, the intelligence and prana. From Tamoguna branch, there comes the 5 gross elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, and also their respective qualities, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. So like this, all the subsequent elements will manifest from Ahankara, from 3 modes, from 3 different modes, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. So that's how Ahankara is born from the Mahatattva. So what are the functions or what are the characteristics of Ahankara? Ahankara will produce the devatas who will supervise all the activities of all the senses. It will also produce the mind. It will also produce the senses. It will also produce the intelligence. It will also produce the 5 gross elements, that is the with which our gross body is made up of. Our gross body is made up of. And all these things are all produced by the Ahankara. These are all from the elemental point of view. From the activities point of view, from the emotional activities point of view, the Ahankara produces peace for those people who are in the mode of goodness. People in the mode of goodness will experience peace. People in the mode of passion, they experience agitation or passion, always want to do something new, something like that. And people in the mode of ignorance, they experience bewilderment. So these 3 also manifest from Ahankara. So these are all different functions and different characteristics of Ahankara. And then from Sattva-guna Ahankara, from the Sattva-guna branch of Ahankara trunk, there comes the mind. So mind is there. What is the function of the mind? Starting from our childhood, we might have come across so many experiences, eating something, interacting with something, and traveling somewhere, and staying at different places, going through different seasons. Like there's so many things we have done till date since our childhood. May not be in the infant state, we may not remember so many things during our infancy, but at least starting from the fifth year onwards, fifth or sixth year onwards, we might have done many things. And all the experiences are stored in our mind. We may remember, we may not remember, but they are all stored, whether the experiences may be good or bad. Even in our childhood, we started learning bicycling. So cycling the bicycle. So we might have fallen down some places, we might have gone overtaken somebody else. All such kind of small experiences we have gone through during that time, they are all stored in our mind. And whenever we come in contact with those people, for example, we happen to see our childhood bicycle, which is still there in our home in the godown. So as soon as we see that bicycle, we remember all our experiences in relation to that bicycle. Or if we happen to meet our childhood friend after 20 years, after 2 decades, then immediately we remember all our experiences with that friend, something like that. So mind actually stores all the experiences that we have gone through in our current life. Of course, in the past lives also, but at least in the current life. And whenever something comes in front of us, something similar to that, so we kind of revive those emotions. So something like that. So then that is called Sankalpa. Sankalpa means mind keeps proposing something. When we see something, it gives us the previous experience of the same object or of the similar object, something like that. And Vikalpa means sometimes, though apparently we have not gone through such kind of experience in this very lifetime, but mind suddenly proposes such kind of desire. Mind suddenly brings up such kind of experience. So that may be due to our previous life experience. So the function of the mind is to pop up our past experiences, whether we have gone through in this current life, that is called Sankalpa, or the experience of the previous lives, that is called Vikalpa. So this is the function of the mind. And then eventually from the Ahankara in the mode of passion, there appears Buddhi or intelligence. So the function of the intelligence is Dravya Spurana Vijnanam. Whatever we see in this material world, with whatever we come in contact with in this material world, the intelligence will tell us what is that, what is the nature of that particular object, which we perceive through our 5 senses, the 5 Jnanendriyas. We see something through our eyes, we hear something through our ears, and we touch something through our hands or skin, or we taste some food item through our tongue, we smell the odor of a particular object through our nostril. So the intelligence will get this information from all these 5 senses and analyzes it and tells us what is that. Dravya Spurana Vijnanam. So everything in this material world is made up of Dravya. Dravya is basically the combination of 24 metal elements. If not 24, at least the 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, and ether. Everything that we see in this world is made up of those 5 things only. And for example, when we go on a tour, so it is hot, sunny day. Of course, currently, if we have gone to GV and early in the morning when we get up, it is chill cold. So our skin will tell us that it is chilling cold. So the skin is getting the touch of the wind which is flowing around, but it is intelligence which tells that it is chilling cold. And immediately we go to bathroom and fill the bucket with hot water and take a mug of hot water and pour on our head, and the water is dropping throughout our body. And then we experience the sensation of warm or hot water. So it is intelligence will tell that the previous wind was very cold and the current water is very warm or very hot. So it is the intelligence which analyzes and tells what is what that we experience through our 5 senses, something like that. So that is what we have kind of discussed in the last week till here. And at this point of time, so till now we briefly touched about the four elements: the consciousness, chitta, and ahankara, the identity, and the mind, the storehouse of all our past experiences, and the intelligence, which is the analyzer and the revealer of what is what, and how these four act in general. So this is where we stopped. So I taking an example of myself being situated in the temple. So the accommodation for me is just above the classroom where we are currently taking the classes, which is very adjacent to Lakshminarayan temple. For example, one fine day at evening at 4 o'clock, I'm taking rest in our area, in our residential area. And at 4:30, the shank, the conch is blown, because the darshan will open at 4:30 for Lakshminarayan, even our temple also, 4:30 darshan opens. I'm in sleep, I'm sleeping. For example, understand that I'm in deep sleep. So when I am in deep sleep, so I'm sleeping, I forget who am I. I don't have any awareness that who am I, etc., etc. in the deep sleep. So, but the shank is blowing very loudly. So my ears are hearing that shank sound, but I'm in deep sleep. My mind, intelligence, and everything is inactive. But the one element is still active at that time is my Chetana, because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, there are two things are always going on. One is my consciousness is active. Second one is my breathing is active. These two things are immaterial to the functions of the ahankara, mind, intelligence, and senses. Whether the body is active or not, as long as I'm alive, these two will go on. The breathing will go on and the consciousness will go on. Only when I die, my breathing stops and my consciousness stops. So in deep sleep, we may not be aware what is happening around. But if the sound of the conch is very loud enough, which is piercing through my ears, goes to the heart, the Chetana understands that there is some sound is coming. Then the Chetana activates the intelligence and tells it, find out what it is. Then the intelligence analyzes whatever information it is receiving through ears, and it says that this is the sound of the conch blown from Lakshminarayana temple, since it is very close to me. So then the mind says that, okay, the mind says that whether I want to, so the mind actually reveals that, okay, this is the same sound which I have also heard it yesterday at 4:30, which is coming from Lakshminarayan temple. So this is the experience is very good. The mind says that, okay, continue to hear. It's a pleasing sound, continue to hear. Then my hankara says that whether I have got any connection with this sound or not. Since it is the sound of the conch shell blown from Lakshminarayan temple, the ahankara says that, yes, my dear sir, please get up. It is indicating that 4:30 is already reached. You get up and get ready and go and take darshan. Arati is going on. So then ahankara, when ahankara says that, please get up and get ready, then the mind develops a desire to get up and get ready and go and take darshan. And then mind activates the body to get up and go to bathroom, get fresh, and go to temple hall and take darshan, etc. So this is how Bhagavatam explains. When we hear something, we go through how our subtle body becomes activated, etc. So there is a shloka from Bhagavad Gita, but before going there, I would like to understand. So we have many doctors in our satsang. So what do we, how does it explain in our medical understanding that how the body responds to external stimuli? If some of you, whether those who are familiar with the subject matter, others also can try. Some of you can share. So when our personality exposed to some stimuli, how do our body responds in terms of this mind, intelligence, ahankara, and chetana? Anyone can share. Just try to understand how the modern science explains about this phenomena and how Bhagavatam is explaining about the same phenomena.
So, Prabhuji, it is a reflex action.
Sorry?
A reflex action.
No, in general, as I have taken example of hearing a sound, anything in general, the experience we go through while sleeping or while awake. in general, how do we respond to the stimuli which is coming from external world, our surrounding nature?
So probably it is based on our experience basically. Like if certain things which I want, if that is if I want to do that, then I react to that in that way. If I don't
Okay.
want to take, for example, somebody's call, if I receive, I
Hmm.
hate that person and I don't want to take his call at that moment, I reject that call straight away.
Okay, okay, good.
Yeah.
So, for example, you are walking on the roadside. Of course, the devotees don't eat outside, but for example, we are walking on some holy place. There are so many stalls are there. So, okay, not that. If, for example, we have gone to Govinda's in Juhu temple, where buffet system is there. So you can have whatever you want. So while you are walking through, there are so many dishes are kept. So when you go through different dishes, what kind of emotions you go through? And how that happens within your body in terms of mind, intelligence, and ego and chetana. So little go into analysis.
It shows our likes and dislikes.
What shows our likes and dislikes? And
Smell,
how?
smell of
The
the
visuals,
food.
the visuals, the smell, when the
Okay.
sense organs.
Okay.
So Prabhuji, I think to take it to a different topic, it's like your what frequency we call it as if we are on same frequency, right? So when I come to temple in the morning, I when I start my day itself, if I planned that I'd go to the temple, that I already my mind will be eager to look at the face of the Lord, and the moment I see Him, then the
No,
kind of
not
joy, all my senses will be.
I'm not asking a planned activity. I'm asking a instantaneous
Okay.
activity where we are exposed to a particular stimuli.
Yeah, similar to that. So maybe if I say that, as you rightly mentioned, if I am having my office and suddenly hear some conch sound or bells which is ringing closer to my place, and I immediately connect because that sound or something is very familiar to me, and I like it so much. The moment I hear that, I feel that okay, wow, that's maybe that some people think that okay, it's a positive sign, so they say okay, this is a good time for me to take some new.
See, you are using I like it, for me, I connected to it. You are always using I me. I don't want that I me. I want in detail go into analysis. Who, what your intelligence will respond at the time, what your mind respond, what your ahankara responds. So if you can go into the details.
The example, the example which you had given about the food in zoo, suppose there is a buffet system, and then while taking the plate, when I see the different things, then my eyes, that means my jnanendriyas, they understand that what is the thing, and then immediately because of my past experience, my mind tells, oh, this is good, this is not good, and then in that way naturally my mouth starts watering. That is the reaction to the stimuli, and then I pick up certain things and I don't pick up certain things. That is how how I react. Actually, due to stimuli, definitely and due to past experiences, my likes and dislikes, I actually choose the things.
Okay, whatever you have mentioned, very good, very good analysis. That we will discuss maybe in a couple of slides later. That is the complete picture. So for now, not going into so many details, just how our subtle body responds to a particular stimuli, how our mind, intelligence, ahankara and chetana, only these four, don't go beyond those four. So with that, all of you can take an example and quote. Or I would like to hear, I would like to any doctor who is there around, in our class today. So what our medical sciences say about this, how our subtle body responds, our mind intelligence responds to a particular stimuli.
So can I try?
Yes, bro.
So probably like suppose you go to a temple, and not
No, don't take the regular example.
No, not the regular. I go to a new temple where prasad is being distributed. So, from the normal perspective, if the prasad what is served is of your liking, means immediately the body, your salivation starts with you.
Now I want to understand who is liking it. who is, you said you are liking that, who is he?
Means generally we try to connect with the body only. Means normally it's me. Well, means even if we say that I am not this body, I am the spirit soul, but we are again relate ourselves with the body. So my mouth starts with that activity that I should now have it.
No, no mouth. Please
Okay.
go only to the extent of mind, intelligence, ego, and chetana. No mouth and no senses.
So the mind tells that I should have it. Then the other mind tells, "Arey, you're in a new place. How can you go and have that prasad?" So your ahankara tries to pull you back. Hey, no, it will not look good if you go like that and ask it. So you're in double mind, whether I should go and take it or whether I should not take it, and I should pretend okay, I'm okay even if I don't get it. But within the mind, you're feeling that I should get it.
Okay.
And
anyone else?
No.
Anyone else? So I just want you understand how these four functions in your own terms. If you get into details, you will actually understand. If
the mind gives directions to the religions give direction to the mind, and then the mind actually gives to karmendriyas, and how intelligence gets through the jnanendriyas, and then karmendriyas become active.
Mataji, please don't go here and there. Don't go here and there. Limit yourself to mind, intelligence, and ego only.
It will try to retrieve previous experience, something like that, Prabhuji.
Okay. Then.
And on those bases,
I'll tell you one example. Simple. So now we have made a plan to go to GB. So tomorrow morning, tomorrow morning we are going to GB. So we have all gone to GB. Throughout the day is very warm today. It's a sunny day, and we have visited all the places. And we had our dinner. We slept. And early morning we were told that we are supposed to get up at 4:30 a.m. because 5 o'clock Mangalarti is there. So devotees have got up at 4:30 a.m. and they have taken bath. They have worn fresh clothes, and they came out. As soon as they came out of the room, their respective accommodation, it is chilly, windy, is very cold. Then what kind of emotions a person goes through?
I want to go out. I want to sleep again.
No, you already taken bath. You have to go to Mangalarti now from Vrindavan cottage to Mangalarti temple.
Prabhuji, if person they think that means I am to attending Mangalarti, I have taken early morning in there is a too cold, then also I am taken the bath and I am ready. So it is ahankara.
And no. See, the first experience is that it is too cold. It is too cold. It is unbearable. Let me wear my sweater.
Okay.
Okay. Let me wear my sweater to protect myself, because ahankara always looks for happy experience. Ahankara never tolerates bad experience, because the mind says that as soon as the body comes in contact with the chilly wind, the intelligence tells that it is very chilly, very cold. The mind says that previously this kind of experience I have gone through. As a result of that, I have got cold, have been through intense misery for 2 long days. Then running nose and uncomfortable cough and so many other things, and it is very unbearable. The intelligence says that it was very, very bad experience. Ahankara says that it is very, very bad experience. I don't want to go through that experience once again. So ahankara gives instructions to mind. So do something immediately. The mind tells that wear sweaters, the full hand sweaters with the complete cap and gloves, etc., 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 and shoes below, like we are completely worn in warm clothes, and then we go on for Mangalarti. Are you getting how these four are responding?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And by the way, our consciousness is eager to go as early as possible, because it's already 4:35 o'clock. The shank already blown. Simon, we heard slight sound. We want to go as early as possible. So then the Ankara said that without sweater you cannot go. Go into the room and wear sweater and go out. Something like that. So everyone has their respective role to play. So the Ahankara always looks for good experiences. It cannot tolerate bad experience. The mind keeps proposing how one can experience, one can have good experiences. So it is like that. So this is how these four elements have their respective role to play in each and every activity. We may say that I am doing. We may not get into the details who is doing what. But all these four people combined together, that activity is completed. For example, I can give example from my understanding from electrical background, electrical and electronics. So in our company, we are supposed to develop an instrument. For example, a pollution tester we have done in Bosch Electronics in Bangalore. So pollution tester, development of pollution tester involves different departments. The mechanical department supposed to design the entire bodily structure of the pollution tester. The electrical department supposed to select the motor, the filter, and many other things. And electronics people supposed to design a circuit, a PCB and a circuit, electronics completely. And the software people supposed to develop the program. And like that, different department people are supposed to do their respective activities. Then when all come together, the product is delivered. Apparently, we may say that the Bosch company is producing the pollution tester for BS3 standard or BS4 standard, etc., etc. In West, it is called Euro 1, Euro 2, Euro 3, etc. In India, we have BS1, BS2, BS3. Bharat, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, etc. The pollution norms. So, from outside point of view, the Bosch is producing the pollution testing equipment. But inside the Bosch, the different departments are working harmoniously to bring out that equipment in good condition. So from outside person, we may see that they may say that, okay, this person is hurried to go to darshan. But within that person, every element is performing the respective activity. Ahankara is telling that it is very cold, wear sweater. And mind is telling that, okay, wear this sweater. Wear this full hand sweater and wear gloves, wear shoes, and etc. Wear inner thermals, etc. And then conscience telling that we are getting late, chalo, something like that. So everyone has their respective role to play. So in that way. And intelligence will tell that, okay, with this sweater, you are not experiencing any chilliness. Now go on. Now it is good enough warmth, something like that. So everyone has their respective role to play in executing any activity. So this thing we can apply to any other thing that we do in our daily life, so that we can understand who is doing what under what condition. So something like that. So this analysis will actually help us come out of that I and mine concept. For everything we always say that I am doing. Here I is not doing anything. The mind is doing something, intelligence is doing something, Ahankara is doing something, Chetana is doing something. The I, the original person, is simply a spectator of all the activities performed by different people. So in one sense, the Bosch company does not do anything. The Bosch as a company does not do anything. But the people who are working inside the Bosch, they are actually doing all the activities. So in that way. So yes, Ganesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in this particular example, I'm little confused about what is Chetana doing and what is intelligence doing, because intelligence discriminates, right? This is what you should be doing it, and mind proposes it.
Sorry. Intelligence analyzes. It does not tell what to do, what not to do. Telling what to do, what not to do is the function of ego. Ego desires happiness. Ego desires the comfortable circumstances. And mind expresses or passes on the desire to its subordinates. We will, after a couple of verses, we will come to the complete picture. So there I will explain it better. So for now, the function of the intelligence is only to analyze. In that analysis, there's a discrimination. Whether something is warmth or something is cold, that discrimination, it will only tell it is what it is. It cannot do anything beyond that.
And Prabhuji, so what was Chetana doing in this particular example?
In this particular example, Chetana is telling that you are a devotee, please go and take darshan of the lordships and be part of the Mangalarati.
Okay, okay.
But Ahankara says that do everything, but in happy condition.
Okay.
Go, but in a comfortable condition. Not being exposed to intense cold without any warmers, thermals or sweater, etc.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And mind says that this sweater will give you good warmth and the other sweater will not give you good warmth, etc. After wearing the sweater, whether I am really experiencing warmth or not, intelligence will tell. So it is like that.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, whether others are able to connect to this example?
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Can I say a word?
Yes.
Yeah, from all this, what in nutshell I get is that the whole chain starts with thought and then words and actions follow.
Here there are no words. As of now, we have not gone through any words.
Thought and action. Thought leads to action, whatever it is. And
okay.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, that everything starts with thought in the mind. Whatever we think,
how does that thought comes? How does that thought comes?
The thought may come from previous experience.
So now please tell me, in the current example of attending Mangalarti in GEV, what is the thought?
I think it is same what you have explained.
No, you tell me, what is the thought according to you? Going to temple is the thought, or wearing sweater is the thought, or what is thought?
Both are thoughts. I have to go to temple and I have to put on the sweater or whatever is required.
I have to go to temple is the desire of consciousness. I have to be in comfortable condition is the demand of Ahankara. And by wearing this particular sweater, you can experience good warmth is the suggestion of the mind. Whether after wearing that sweater, whether one experiences warmth or not, will be analyzed by intelligence.
Okay, Prabhuji. I get your point. Like yeah, thank you.
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji,
if you don't mind, can you explain this again with the example of that you go to Govinda? So with that example, if you can explain this, Prabhuji. Little bit confused, that's why I'm asking.
Okay. You have been to Govindas. The consciousness will tell that we are all devotees. We only supposed to eat Krishna Prasad. We don't go to the famous restaurants in all over Mumbai. There are so many big famous restaurants all over Mumbai. But the consciousness always says that if you want to taste the succulent prasad, succulent food items, please go to Govindas. Because in Govindas, we are getting prasadam. So the consciousness or the Chetana is only interested in eating prasad. In prasad only. Any food item that is prasad. That work ends there. And Ahankara says that today let me have what we can say, stomach full prasad, or stomach full, or let me have the experience of eating throat full all the way up to the throat, or let me eat all my desired cuisine. The Ahankara says that today I want to have whatever I like to the fullest extent. That is the demand of Ahankara. So when we go to Govindas, so we walk seeing all the different items. By seeing every item, the mind will pop up the past experience of eating that item. What was our previous experience? we may come across the starters, different soups. So when we see a soup, the mind will tell that, okay, so and so month you have eaten this soup in Chaupadi, I mean, Radha Gopinath Govindas, and it was very tasty. Maybe in Juhu Govinda's house, it may be very tasty. The mind will pop up the previous experience and give a suggestion. Okay, it may be good this time also, you can try. Or sometimes the mind will say that, so previously when you ate this particular so and so rice item, it was filled with a lot of chilies. It was too hot, or it was filled with a lot of peppers, pepper, as if it was too hard to eat. So better don't eat, or eat in moderate quantity. The mind will pop up the previous experience and give a suggestion, how much to do, how much not to do. And then we come across gulab jamun. Then immediately the mind says that for every Janmashtami, Radha Gopinath temple on the Nandotsav day serve gulab jamun or kala jamun in the evening feast. And that kala jamun is always very tasty. And here, this kala jamun seems to be like same texture, the same fragrance, everything seems to be same. So the mind says that eat at least 5 gulab jamuns today. And we serve in our plate. Then while tasting one item, intelligence will actually analyze what mind suggested, whether that is up to the mark or not. If something is wrong, intelligence will tell that this is not to the extent that we have expected. So it is too sweet, it is too spicy, it is too sour. That is analyzed and reported by intelligence. Now the new experience will be again stored in the mind. And by the end of our lunch, the Hankara will say that, yeah, very nice. Today I have good experience of eating all my liking items to the maximum extent. Or if it is a bad experience, the Hankara says that it is very bad decision that I have come here for this place today. I should not have come here. It is not satisfying. Ahankara only looks for good satisfaction, good experience.
Prabhuji, I have one question. So when you said that we take 5 gulab jamuns in our plate, and suppose after eating 2, suppose my stomach is full, and then I repent and I say, "Arey, nahi lena chahiye tha itna. I should have eaten only 2. Why did I take 5?" So then who suggests that? Is it the Ahankara who's saying that I shouldn't have done this? Or I shouldn't have taken 5 gulab jamuns?
Ahankara looks only for experience. The mind gives suggestion. Okay, my dear Ahankara, you might have good experience today by eating 5 gulab jamuns. Take 5. It gives a suggestion. And Ahankara says, okay, I'll follow your suggestion. So Ahankara tells, take 5. So we have taken 5, but
Yes,
as you
Prabhuji.
tested that we are already full with 2. So then the intelligence says that, okay, your stomach is full, you can't eat more. So then Ahankara says that, let me try one more. So we may try one more and we stop.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, if it is bad, then Ahankara will say that at the end, consciousness will say that, hey, this is Krishna Prasad, you are not supposed to waste. So Ahankara says that, what I can do? I have done my quota today. My quota is completed for today. I can't eat anymore. The mind says that, mind in a, what you can say, with some kind of dissatisfaction, the mind says, okay, what can be done? The body cannot accept anymore. Please stop here. The mind will register, okay, in future, after having so many other items, I should not take 5 more gulab jamuns. I should at least take 2. If required, I can take 1 more extra afterwards. Like that, mind will register that information in itself.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Like that. So why I am going into details? Because generally anything happens now, we always say that I am doing I am doing. It's who is that I? We need to understand. I is divided into 4 divisions. The intelligence has to do something, mind has to do something, Ahankara has to do something, and Chetana has to do something. All these 4 aspects are happening simultaneously. The combination of all these 4 becomes I am doing something. But in reality, I am not doing anything. I as the soul not doing anything. These 4 only doing all these things. So it is like that.
And Prabhuji, this I is totally different from all those four things.
Obviously, I is Atma. I is entirely different. He is only witness. He is only seeing. For example, you and me both have gone. So you are the person made up of mind, intelligence, ego, and Chetana, and I am the soul. And you are doing all the stuff. You are eating one after the other all the items that are there in Juhu Govindas. I am simply witnessing next to you, sitting next to you. That's all.
Okay.
I am experiencing happiness by your happiness. So your ahankara is going through happiness. Today I had good meal. So by your happiness, I am happy because I am identifying with you. Something like that.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, since our subtle bodies like false ego, mind, and intelligence accompanies our soul in next birth, so in this context, how it acts and does previous births experience influence our current action?
Yes. They all influence. For example, during the 6th month, we celebrate a Annaprasana ceremony for the small kids. And we put all the items in front of them. We request them to, we tell them, please go and take one. So what inspired them to take one among the many? It is not an arbitrary choice. It is not by chance. Okay. It is all impelled by previous samskaras. So like that. Eventually, when the child grows, when child is going to school, every child has a special liking subject. For example, I had a special liking for maths. Others are liking for science. Some others are liking for social studies. Some others are liking for history, geography. Some others are liking for language. So where from that liking is coming from? It is all based on our previous samskaras. So these things will come automatically. We never thought about, we never planned about them. Those things which come on their own accord, they are all based on our previous samskaras. So like that.
So that's why the small kids also have their taste and preferences because of their previous births.
Samskaras.
Sanskaras.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So this is what Bhagavatam goes into analysis of different element so that we can understand who is doing what. So it's like that. Then what Bhagavad Gita has to say about this? So Bhagavad Gita also has something to say about this. So here is one shloka which comes in the 3rd chapter. Indriyani paranyahur, indriyebhya param manaha, manasastu parabuddhir, yo buddhe parasastuta. So in our day-to-day existence, every day we go through 3 phases. Starting from morning till the evening, we go to bed. That means since the time of waking up to the time of sleeping, throughout the day, we are in active state. We are in awakened state. We are awake. That means our entire personality is awake and it is active to do so many activities throughout the day. So we walk, we take things here and keep them here, there, and etc. We go to office, work, we eat, and we do so many other things because our entire body is active. And then at night after 9 p.m. we go to bed and we lie down, we put blanket over our head, over our body, and then we go to sleep. So generally, the fortunate people go into deep sleep immediately, but otherwise, in general, most of us don't get sleep immediately. Even though if you may get sleep, that sleep is actually either disturbed or dreamy sleep. So that the second state is called as swapna, the dream state. Either we might be thinking about something or we might be stopped thinking, but our mind might be going through some dreams. So what is the difference between the dream state to our active state in the daytime? In the daytime, our gross body is functioning. All our 5 jnanendriyas are functioning. The 5 karmendriyas are functioning. Our intelligence is functioning. Our mind is functioning. Our ahankara is functioning. Our breathing is functioning. Our consciousness is also functioning. everything is functioning. All the 24 elements are in action when we are awake. And when we go to bed, when we are in dreamy state, we are not in deep sleep, but in dreamy state. So what is happening that time? Our gross body becomes inactive. There are no activities that are performed by our gross body. And there are no activities that are performed by our karmendriyas. Our hands are not moving here or there. Our mouth is not speaking. And our legs are not moving here and there, etc. We are in sleeping. And our jnanendriyas are also sleeping. The ears are not hearing anything, the nostril is not smelling anything, and the hands are not feeling any touch, etc. etc. We are already in sleep, not in deep sleep, but in somewhat in sleepy state. And since our jnanendriyas are sleeping, our intelligence also goes to sleep. Because there is no input, there is no activity for the intelligence to analyze. So intelligence also goes to sleep. But what is awake during this time is our mind is awake. So within the mind, we go through a dream. So in the dream, actually we forget our current body. Currently, I am Pavaneshwar Das, a brahmachari in Chowpatty temple, etc. etc. So all that identity, all that understanding of myself is forgotten in the dream. So I lose complete touch with my gross body, complete touch with my karmendriyas and jnanendriyas, with my intelligence. So in normal state, I think that I am a brahmachari here. By education or by profession, I was an engineer, etc. All the things are that based on that intellectual abilities I try to do analyze throughout the day. But in the dream, I forget about all these things. In the dream, I go through a dream that I will be a parrot flying from one garden to other garden, something like that. I will be a bird and flying from one place to other place, etc. 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 And suddenly, I was flying through a lake, and I am not able to flap my wings. I am about to fall down into the water lake. So I go through intense, painful, miserable experience, something like that. So there in the dream, I forgot that I am Pavaneshwar Das. I am a brahmachari here in temple. I did my engineering in my graduation and etc. I forget all those things. I identify myself with a new body, with a new gross body, which is in the shape of a bird, which is flying. I perform different activities that flying across a lake. And because in the lake is much longer, I'm not able to see any end to it. And I am unable to flap further. So I'm falling down into the water. So I'm going through a bad experience. So during the dream, my mind gives me a new identity with a new gross body, with the new activities of the new senses in the new gross body. There I am flying and I'm etc. etc. So my mind is active, my ahankara is active. There I am identifying myself as a bird, and my chetana is active. I see myself as alive, still alive. And then if you go into deep sleep, in the deep sleep, even the mind sleeps. The mind shuts off, and ahankara also shuts off. In the deep sleep, I forget who am I. I forget myself as Pavaneshwar Das, and I also forget myself as the parrot or the bird which is there in the dream. Both the identities are forgotten completely. The only two things which are still active are my breathing and my consciousness. And the function of my consciousness is that it will say that you are still alive, you are not dead yet. That much awareness only I have in my deep sleep. So that is what is mentioned in this shloka. Indriyani paranyahur. The senses, the jnanendriyas and karmendriyas are superior to our gross body, which is made up of 5 Pancha Mahabhutas. Earth, water, fire, ether. This body is made up of earth, water, fire, ether. Superior to that is our jnanendriyas and karmendriyas. Indriyebhya paramanaha. Of course, the senses come along with the intelligence. So wherever senses are there, the intelligence will be there. If senses are inactive, intelligence also inactive. Something like that. Indriyebhya paramanaha. So superior to the senses which are active throughout the day is the mind, which is active even when we go to sleep. In the dreamy state, the mind is still giving us a new body and new identity and new functions to perform, flying, etc. So mind is superior to intelligence as well as the senses. And then manasastu parabuddhir. Here buddhi is not the intelligence, but buddhi is our chetana, our consciousness, our chitta. In the deep sleep, even the mind and ahankara does not function, but only the chetana is functioning. If the buddhi stands for chetana, consciousness. We are still conscious, even in the deep sleep. We are conscious that we are alive, that much only. And yo buddhe parasasusa. And superior to that consciousness is Atma. Atma is still superior to the consciousness. So this is the gradual gradation and different functions who becomes active at different states of our existence. Jagruti, Swapna, Sushupti. Throughout the day, we are in Jagruti state, we are in active state. In the night, when we go to bed, immediately we may be in a dreamy state, that is Swapna. And in deep sleep, we are in Sushupti state. So it is like that. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in one of the lectures on this shloka, I have heard that if intelligence is weak, then mind will take the control. But Prabhuji, the functions of mind and intelligence both are different. Mind is doing thinking, feeling, and willing, whereas intelligence is to discriminate what is right and what is wrong. So,
what is what? Basically, intelligence function is to tell us what is what. Nothing beyond that.
Okay. But then who takes the decision for the action in this
Ahankara.
case?
Ahankara takes the decision whether to do something or not to do something. That we will discuss in a couple of slides later. That example comes. We will get the complete picture. What exactly happens with our day-to-day life. There we will discuss that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So this is about our personality. And within our personality, who are all there and what all they are doing, when they are active, when they do what, etc., etc. So complete analysis of all these different personalities that are there within us. So as Bhagavatam continues further, so what are the different functions of intelligence? What does, till now we have said that it only analyzes. So what kind of analysis it does? So that they're all mentioned in this verse. Samshayota viparyaso nishaya smrutirevacha swapa iti uchyate buddhir lakshanam vrittita pratak. The characteristics of buddhi are the characteristics of intelligence by its various functions are said to be doubt. When we hear something, the intelligence will tell that, hey, there is something wrong here. There is some doubt. And then false knowledge. If somebody promoting some false rumors, the intelligence will immediately say that, hey, it is false. Don't worry too much. And ascertaining correct knowledge. When some two different variety of informations are coming to us, the intelligence immediately analyzes which one of the two is correct one, which one of the two is wrong one. It ascertains what is the correct one, nishchaya. And then remembrance. The mind has stored all the experiences. The intelligence will kind of tell the mind that, yeah, aisa situation pehle aaya tha. Chalo nikalo usko. So like that, something like that, intelligence will immediately prompt to the mind that. So kind of remembrance is the function of intelligence. And sleep. Sleeping is also a function of intelligence. If the intelligence is too active, one may not get sleep properly. So something like that. So all these things are connected to different activities and different functions of intelligence. Doubt, proposing a doubt, ascertaining false knowledge, ascertaining correct knowledge, suggesting the past remembrance, and also getting sleep. So what are the different functions of intelligence? All put together here. Dravya Spurana Vijnanam means it reveals the objects. Whatever we come across, the intelligence will tell what it is. What is that? Indriyana Manugraha. And it means it will assist the senses in analyzing what is that information received by the senses. Samshaya means expressing doubt about something. Viparyasa means ascertaining incorrect knowledge. Nishchaya means ascertaining correct knowledge. And Smriti means remembrance. And Swapa means sleep. So even Patanjali Yoga Sutra also talks about the activities of the intelligence. Pramana, Viparyaya, Vikalpa, Nidra, Smrutya. The functions of Buddhi are ascertaining correct knowledge. Pramana. Praman Dikana. So whether something is right or not, intelligence will, hey, Pramana Shastra says this. So this is the Praman to say this is right or not. Something like that. Ascertaining false knowledge. Some people are saying something and the intelligence says that according to Shastra, this is supposed to be like this. So what you're saying is wrong. Something like that. Expressing doubt. If some people are discussing something, the intelligence after hearing that immediately says that hey, there is something doubt here. There is something garbad here. Something like that. And sleep is also a function of intelligence. And memory. Recollecting from the past memory is also the function of intelligence. So, etc. So these are the different functions of intelligence. So, yeah, yes, Mataji. Shabangi Mataji also raised hand. Yes, Mataji.
So Prabhuji, if Smriti means remembrance, then suppose if a person is demented, if that person is going through dementia, so I mean, what is affected? The ahankara is affected, or the intelligence is affected, or the mind is affected, or
ahankara may be in the background, but in the foreground, both mind and intelligence are affected.
That is why the person grows through dementia, is it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Yeah. Whether somebody is dementia or mentally deranged and psychologically disturbed, etc., the mind and intelligence are not proper functioning, are not in proper functioning mode.
Okay.
So that basically this Nishchaya, Viparyasa, Samshaya and Smriti, they are not working at all. They don't remember anything what was there in the past, what happened in the past.
Okay.
And every time when we are feeding them, so we need to tell them again and again, this is khichdi, you ate yesterday, it was very nice, you liked it, like that.
Okay, Prabhuji.
For a normal person, as soon as they see khichdi, they are like eager to eat it. But not with respect to a mentally deranged person.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
Prabhuji, your intelligence mind, you're telling all the functions to us. But the action is a whose part, because means reading the scriptural books or hearing the lectures, it is a good thing. It is good for our the spiritual progress. But sometimes we do not do that knowingly also, and we do something differently. Then that action, who is taking that action?
Okay. Our consciousness in its pure condition says that hearing Krishna Katha, reading Krishna conscious literature is good for us. But Ahankara says that yeah, isse maza nahi aa raha hai. Isse we are not experiencing happiness. So let us hear some cinema songs. Let me read some novels. Ahankara says that okay, by something like that. Ahankara says that I am not experiencing happiness by doing the other things. I want more happiness. Then the mind might suggest that okay, by reading Krishna book you are not getting happiness. You can read some novel, read some story book, something like that. So there is a constant fight between Ahankara and Chetana.
Okay, so Ahankara is taking action.
Yes, yes.
But if sometimes emotions are there with some means we want to go to some जबरदस्ती हम लोग कुछ प्रोग्राम में जाना है करके लेक्चर छोड़ के गए, so in that case it is an emotion, whereas emotions in mind or what?
No, desiring to go to program The mind only suggests. So going to program, you will have good time. The mind suggests. Chetana says that since you are a practicing devotee, you are supposed to go to program. And Ahankara says that hey, it may be a good idea, maybe a bad idea. It may be comfortable, it may not be comfortable, something like that. The Ahankara actually looks after only convenience, only some good experience.
No, Prabhuji, the different program. It is a material program. If you have to go, and it is a compulsory.
Even there also material program also.
That.
Even there also both Chetana and Ahankara both are in tug of war. Okay. Chetana might say that you are a devotee, practicing devotee, you are not supposed to go there. But Ahankara says that no, I was invited. I'm supposed to go. It was a office function. So Ahankara said that I'm one of the part of the company. I'm supposed to go. I'm supposed to be part of everyone. How can I be separate from them? Chetana might say that no, Baba, you are practicing devotee. You are supposed to be away from all such things. The tug of war. Whoever wins, that will happen.
Okay.
Something like that.
There is desire, your desire or not, but it is acting that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Other devotees who raise their hands. Okay. We'll go ahead. Taijasanindriyanyeva kriyajnana vibhagasha pranasya hi kriya shaktir buddher vijnana shaktita. So now this verse talks about what is coming from where. All the 10 senses, both karmendriyas and jnanendriyas, they all arise from Taijasa Ahankara. Taijasa Ahankara means Ahankara in the mode of passion. From Ahankara in the mode of passion, there appears the 5 jnanendriyas and 5 karmendriyas. Since prana impelling the action senses possesses Taijasa Kriya Shakti, and buddhi impelling the knowledge senses possesses Taijasa Vijnana Shakti. So kindly understand, here we have 2 categories of senses. We have 5 knowledge acquiring senses known as jnanendriyas and 5 action senses known as karmendriyas. The jnanendriyas function under the supervision of intelligence, buddhi. The karmendriyas function under the supervision of prana. Where is prana? Yeah, prana is here. Prana is the direct or immediate boss of the karmendriyas, and buddhi is the immediate boss of jnanendriyas. So kindly remember this, kindly understand this. So we have example in the next slide maybe. What is that? We'll see. Ahankara in the mode of passion gives rise to both knowledge acquiring senses and action senses. This is because the prana has Kriya Shakti, which has Taijasa, because prana possesses Kriya Shakti. Kriya Shakti means action potency. So with that Kriya Shakti, prana empowers the 5 karmendriyas to do various actions. So prana tells the mouth, speak. Loudly speak or mildly speak or laughingly speak or angrily speak, whatever it is. Prana tells the mouth to speak. And prana tells the hands, collect it, keep it somewhere else. And prana tells the legs, get up and go, walk or run, whatever it is. It is prana will instruct the 5 karmendriyas to do something or not to do something. The prana is the supervisor or the boss, immediate boss of all the 5 karmendriyas. Because prana possesses Kriya Shakti, so it is coming from Taijasa, the mode of passion. Thus the action senses which also have Kriya Shakti possess Taijasa. The karmendriyas, the prana, they all have Kriya Shakti. Similarly, the intelligence also predominated by Kriya Shakti, because the function of the intelligence is analysis, ascertaining what is correct, what is wrong, ascertaining what is what, dravya spurana vijnanam, and ascertaining what, proposing some doubt and recollecting some past memories, etc. All these are the functions of intelligence. So it is full of action. So it is also manifested from Taijasa Ahankara or from the Rajasic Ahankara. Thus, the knowledge senses also considered Taijasa. And the Jnanendriyas are also always acquiring some information. Every now and then, while passing through the kitchen, our nostril becomes active. It tries to understand what's happening inside the kitchen, what kind of fragrance are coming out, what kind of items are prepared, etc., etc. And when we are passing by, when people are speaking, our ears becomes active, what they are speaking, about whom they are speaking, what kind of talks they are doing, etc., etc., etc. And when we are walking around, our eyes becomes very active. We can start seeing what is there. When we are walking on the road, the bikes are going, taxis are going, and cabs are going, buses are going, so many vehicles are going. The eyes are seeing everything that is happening in front of our eyes. They're always active 24 hours, not 24 hours. As long as we are awake, they're all active, doing different activities. So because of that, they all possess Kriya Shakti. Both the Jnanendriyas and both the Karmendriyas, all of them have Kriya Shakti, action potency. They are always ready to do action. So something like that. So what kind of activity they are doing? The 5 Jnanendriyas possessing Jnana Shakti or Vijnana Shakti, they perform these 5 kinds of activities. Our ears always want to hear various sounds, as I've just mentioned. Our skin always try to go through the experiences, the sensations by touch. Our eyes always tries to see various forms. Our tongue always tries to taste various tastes. Our nostril always tries to smell various fragrances. The mouth to speak various words. Hands to collect or give away things, the various objects. Either we collect, accept it from others, and we give away something or move from one place to other place. That is the function of the hands. And the legs to walk from one place to another place, or to run, to walk, whatever it is. Genital to procreate children. Anus to expel the excrete. So these are the functions of Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. So till now, we have discussed about the functions of Chetana, the Ahankara, the mind, intelligence, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, also intelligence, that is Buddhi, and Prana. So now let us see how all these are related to each other. So in our day-to-day observation, so the Jnanendriyas are trying to collect information from our surrounding. So we have 5 Jnanendriyas. Our ears are always hearing what sounds are going on around. Skin is always trying to understand whether the weather is cold, hot. The eyes are trying to see around what is there. The tongue trying to taste, the nostril trying to smell. So whatever information we receive through these 5 senses, it is analyzed by our Buddhi. And Buddhi will tell what is what. When we hear something, the Buddhi will tell what they are talking about, whom they are talking. When we eat something, the Buddhi will tell whether something is sweet, sour, bitter, pungent, etc., etc. Something like that. So whatever information that we receive through Jnanendriyas is analyzed by Buddhi. And after analysis, while doing that activity, whatever experience we may go through, that experience is stored in the mind. The mind stores all the experiences, whether they may be good or bad. After eating something, so the good experience or bad experience is stored in our mind. When 2 people are discussing, when we hear that it is something, when they are criticizing somebody, the bad experience is stored within our mind. When they are glorifying somebody, the good experience of hearing somebody's glories is stored in our mind. If they are talking good about us, we feel happy and we store that these people are talking about me in a good way. If they criticize us, and we also store that criticism within our mind. So mind stores all the experiences, and ego go through the actual experience. If it is good, ego becomes satisfied. Yes, today I am experiencing good, nice. I am like king today, something like that. If it is bad, the ego feels that today is very bad day. So everything is going wrong and everything is very bad. What's happening, etc. It is ego ultimately the experiencer of whatever we go through every day. And then this is like starting from Jnanendriyas all the way up to ego. And then, for example, so after experiencing this, we may go through some good experience or bad experience. Then the ego demands to want to have the same experience or not to want to have that experience. If somebody criticizing, we want to stop it there. How do we do it? There different possibilities are there. we may get into the discussion and try to refute what they are saying, or try to beat them, or go away from that place, etc., etc. Anything can be done, but ego demands whether to continue that experience, continue to have that experience, or stop that experience. That ego demands. That demand is given to the mind. So ego tells the mind that ये तो और चाहिए, ये तो नहीं चाहिए, and the mind gives, expresses the desire. The mind gives suggestion and expresses the desire to prana. So mind tells that, so my dear prana, ahankara is telling that do it some more time, and mind says that my dear prana, stop this, don't do it, something like that. And prana will tell the karmendriyas to do it or not to do it, and being empowered by that prana, our 5 karmendriyas do it. So for example, two examples. So it's like on a festival evening, in the evening, when we come to the entrance of the kitchen, so we our senses smell a nice fragrance, and also it also hears so much sound that so much busy things are happening inside the kitchen. They are setting up the counter, etc., etc. So then intelligence says that, okay, what's happening inside? Intelligence will ascertain. The mind says that last year Nandosto, it was a very nice feast, we had very nice. And ego says that I want to have that experience once again, please get it for me today. It tells that thing to mind, and my mind says that, okay, in order to have the good experience, you need to go through that line. Now instead of this line, you need to go to that counter instead of this counter, because that counter there are some devotees who will serve more, who will do second serve also right now. I mean, no need to come again. So they will give as much as we want, as many gulab jamuns as we want. The mind will give all the suggestions by seeing the different people who can do, who can serve the way it can. And then prana tells, so my dear legs, please walk towards. My dear hands, take the plate from here. So my dear mouth, please speak pleasingly to this person so that he can give you that item more. Like that, prana will actually tell the 5 karmendriyas, especially the mouth, hands, legs, in relation to this particular feast. Or if it is some 2 people are speaking some criticism words about us, the ahankara says that, hey, these people, what they are thinking about me, they are unnecessarily doing false allegations. It tells the mind, please go and stop them. The mind tells prana, please do something to do it. The prana activates the body. The body, the legs walk there. The hands tell them, the hands raise them, stop them. The mouth starts speaking. So my dear friends, what are you speaking? All these are all rumors. Don't speak all these things. If they say, no, these are not rumors, these are actually true, then the prana tells, so my dear hands, become active. Then the hand starts clapping. And if that is, if they also start clapping, then the prana tells, so my dear legs, do the needful. The legs start kicking, etc. Something like that. So this is how all the events that are performed by all our bodily elements. Starting with the Jnanendriyas, it goes all the way up to Ahankara, and starting with Ahankara, it comes all the way up to Karmendriyas. So this is how our whole body is under action. Hare Krishna. As Shubhangi Mataji was telling that having gone to Govindas, Juhu Govindas, when we see all the pleasing items, our mouth starts salivating. So then the prana tells, so the mind says that today there are good perspectives of having a good lunch. Then the prana tells, my dear legs, start going to that counter. So leave behind these particular items. That item is very special in Juhu Govindas. So the ants will serve that item, 2 spoons, 3 spoons, etc., etc. And we search for a nice table, go there and sit and have it, and something like that. So this is how our karmendriyas are active. Yes, Prabhu, Ganesh Prabhu.
Prabhuji, who is instructing the false ego?
No, false ego is the enjoyer. No one is instructing him. He is the boss. He is the I. It is false ego which is saying I want to enjoy. That I want to is the demand of Ahankara. No one is telling him. Ahankara is always looking after enjoyment.
So it doesn't has any previous experiences or something, or it just demands? From where it gets the idea of happiness.
The nature of the soul is Anandamayo Abhyasa. The soul always want to go through happiness. But as long as the soul is residing in the body, right now, if I ask you, who are you? How do you say about your identity? What do you say?
I'm Ganesh. I'm so and so.
Oh, no, much before than that, you say that I am a human being.
Yes.
Who is giving you that identity? It is our ahankara is telling that currently I am a human body, I am a human being, I am a male, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. In the home, we say that I am the male, the eldest male person, everyone should supposed to hear me. The ahankara demands the control of everyone. If somebody is not listening to us, the ahankara becomes dissatisfied and starts instructing the mind. If these people are not listening to me, do something. And then the karmendriyas starts working. The mouth starts shouting. If still they don't listen, the hands start beating. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mohan Joshi Prabhu and Geeta Patil Mataji.
Yeah. Prabhuji, what is this prana now? This I got a new concept. Prana. What is this prana?
Prana is breathing. In our layman understanding, prana means breathing.
Okay.
If we don't breathe, can we act?
No.
Prana is a connecting via medium between the gross body to the subtle body.
Okay.
Our hand is there. Within the mind, there is a desire that I want to hold the plate with my left hand. I want to serve 2 spoons of khichdi with my right hand. And with a spoon, I want to eat that khichdi sitting on a chair. This is the desire of the mind. And the activity is performed by both the hands and the mouth. One hand holds the plate, other hand serve the khichdi 2 spoons, and the body goes and sits. The legs walk all the way up to the chair and sits there. With one hand, I take a spoon. With another hand, I hold the plate and I take the spoon full khichdi and put in the mouth, and mouth chews it and swallows in the mouth, into the stomach. The interconnection is prana. For example, a sick person whose prana is very weak, the mind may be having a desire to eat khichdi, serving oneself. Can the body do that activity? He can't get up only from the bed. The prana is weak, so he can't do that. Desire may be there in the mind, but activity cannot be performed. So the prana is the connection between the gross body and the subtle body, the mind to the karmendriyas.
Okay, Prabhuji. So now in this one sense, I have one more question. Like now we see that ahankar is the main thing who is a doer. So why the soul is suffering? Just because he's attaching himself to the body, he is thinking that I am this body. That is the only reason he's suffering.
No, as of now, soul is not suffering. Soul is identifying with the suffering of ahankara.
Okay.
So, for example, I'll take a correct example. Current example. Don't feel bad anything. So most of our congregation devotees are all parents.
Yeah.
If the children are not behaving as per the expectation of the parents, what kind of experience the parents go through?
Very bad experience. Means
in detail, qualify their experience. Frustration,
anger,
dissatisfaction,
yeah,
intolerance,
yeah,
uncontrollability,
yeah,
feeling like shouting at them, feeling like beating them.
True.
Who is going through all these emotions?
It's ahankar. Yeah, it's ahankar.
Why ahankara is going through all these emotions? Because his demands are not met.
Yeah, okay.
His expectations are not fulfilled. Soul से कुछ लेना देना है क्या? ये सब. See, Atma is only witness. He is there inside the heart and witnessing all these activities. It is ahankara doing everything. Since the soul is identifying with this body, that means soul is identifying with ahankara. Whatever experience the ahankara is going through, the soul also goes through that experience.
Okay.
So it is like that.
Right, but Prabhuji, we say that the soul is responsible for getting what next body he wants. So most of the actions are being done by this gross body, with this body only, this 24 element. But still, the soul has to go through this transmigration. So
because as of now, soul is identifying with ahankara only. Soul has no independent identification. We have forgotten that. Whoever maybe ask us, anybody comes to you and asks you, you will always say that my name is Mohan Joshi.
Correct.
Will you say something else?
No.
But who is Mohan Joshi here?
Yeah.
Not the Atma.
Correct.
The identity will be there only for Mohan Joshi Prabhu for 80-90 years, as long as the body exists.
Correct.
Afterwards, it does not hold good.
Correct.
So it is like that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Geeta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, sorry, I am asking so many questions. But Prabhuji, from last few classes, we have understood that soul is different from mind, intelligence, and ego. So are these mind, intelligence, and ego are qualities of soul? Because we describe a person like he is intelligent, he is egoistic, or something.
We are attributing these qualities to the soul. The qualities of the mind, intelligence, ego, we are attributing them to the soul. It's like that. For example, all of you are parents. When your children do very well in their 10th class, for currently your son is going through.
Yeah.
And Mohan Joshi Prabhu's son recently went through. If they score good grades, will you be happy or not?
Yeah, of course.
You will be more happier than them in one sense. Yeah. Because you have invested a lot of time, energy, and consciousness, everything in the studies of your children. If your children score nicely, you will feel happy.
Correct.
Because you are identifying with the studies of your children. Now, your child is your ahankara, you are yourself, your soul. You have not written exam. You have not scored actually. Your son has scored, but still you become happy. Because you are identifying with your son. And for example, a neighbor, in the neighbor's family, their son scored well. Will you be happy? In a sense, you may be happy in a general norm, but will you experience the same happiness that your son gets it?
No.
No. Yeah. Because we identify with our ahankara. So whatever happiness or misery our ahankara go through, we say that I am going through.
Okay.
Something like that.
So Prabhuji, then everyone's soul is same as part and parcel of Krishna.
Yes.
But everyone's mind, intelligence, and ego is different.
Yes.
Okay.
Different in the sense, characteristically they may be same. Constructionally they may be same, but the function way they are different. Everyone's mind works differently.
Okay.
Everyone's intelligence is differently. Everyone's ego is different.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, in case of Mohan Joshi Prabhuji's example, can you just reverse and tell how it can be purified then? Because we have to do our responsibilities. It is natural that a parent would feel, depressed or,
See, Prabhuji,
anxiety.
Please don't go further details. See, all those things come later.
Okay.
For now, we are just understanding what the functions of these elements. In totality, how it happens. We are not trying to understand in totality, all put together. We are trying to understand them individually.
Okay.
Forget about the purification, forget about responding to the responsibilities of the family and the society, etc. Forget about all those things for now.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Trying to understand the functions of the individual elements discreetly. That's all, as of now.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I ask a one small doubt?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, out of this false ego, mind, and intelligence, which to win the first?
No, forget about the winning first, winning second. For now, we are trying to understand who is doing what. So winning whom, controlling whom, it all will come in the next chapter. 26 chapter, 27 chapter, we'll discuss about that. In this chapter, we just try to understand what is what and who is doing what. As I have given the example, in a company, like Bosch company developing pollution tester. But within that company, there are multiple departments developing different sub-components of that equipment. The mechanical team doing their own part, electrical team doing their own part, electronics team doing their own part, software team doing their own part, PCB manufacturer doing his own part, assembler doing their own part, like that. Different people do different activities. Combining all of them will produce a
final output,
final object. So now we are going into the details of who is doing what. So that is a current study.
okay.
Yes.
How to strengthen our pranas?
By keeping good health, by doing pranayama. Yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya sapnasya yukta sapnama bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Keeping our prana away from the miseries, away from bad health, is by doing everything in moderate way. Yukta ahara, yukta vihara, yukta swapna, yukta chesta. So something like that.
Prabhuji, you were answering Geeta Mataji's question. That time you said that everyone's mind, intelligence, false ego, everything is different because when the soul leaves the body, it drags this subtle body along with it. Yes. And it carries the last impression. So those impressions will play part in the next life also, Prabhuji, while
yes, the samskaras are there with us as long as we are in this material world. All the samskaras are there with us. When all the samskaras are wiped out, we don't have anything to do with this material world. Then we will go back to Godhead.
Oh.
Any one samskara, any one desire, we will take birth again in this material world.
Even for the devotees, Prabhu.
Forget about devotees and non-devotees. Anyone. Principle is same for everyone. Devotional service is a process by which we are purifying our samskaras. Otherwise, we start accumulating more and more samskaras, more and more desires in this material world. So as a devotee, we learn to understand that instead of accumulating the materialistic desires, we are supposed to accumulate spiritual desires. Want to serve the Lord in person, want to serve the Lord in person, want to serve the Lord in person, only that desire. The mind fully should occupy that with that one desire. Then one is ready to go back to Godhead. If the mind is always proposing, okay, let me have a bungalow in South Mumbai, let me have a bungalow in North Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Virar, Nala Sopara, like that. I mean, I'm just kidding. Don't take it seriously, but something like that. Let me have BWM car, let me have this car, that car. The mind keeps proposing so many desires. So if we don't get in this life, we have to take one more birth to fulfill that desire. Something like that.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Correct. I think we are getting late.
The topic is very interesting, Prabhuji. So
oh, thank you. If it is interesting, thank you very much. If it is boring, I'm extremely sorry.
Well, Prabhuji, this is a thought-provoking lecture today. There's a lot of things to think about.
Yes. See, generally we always say that I am doing. So we need to analyze who is doing what. We need to go into the details. So that will help us understand the role and responsibilities of each and every element within our body. Yeah.
Again and again, Prabhuji, this lecture.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll stop here for today. I think Abhay Chaitanya Prabhu is here and Vedamata Mataji. Hare Krishna.